Welcome to Battles in History. Today, I am going to tell you about the Battle of Gergovia, the penultimate battle of the Gallic Wars. This was also the first major defeat for Julius Caesar in the Gallic Wars. The Battle of Gergovia unfolded in Gaul, at the fortified town of Gergovia, where the Arverni tribe resided. It was a clash between Julius Caesar's Roman Republican army and the Gallic forces led by Vercingetorix, who was both the Arverni chieftain and the mastermind behind the Gaulish uprising. The Romans aimed to besiege Gergovia, but due to miscommunication, their plan fell apart. The Gallic cavalry seized the opportunity to counterattack the confused Romans, resulting in their victory. The site of the battle, now known as Gergovia, is located in modern-day France, near Clermont-Ferrand, within the town of La Roche-Blanche. Some remnants of pre-Roman Iron Age walls and earthworks can still be found there. In France, the Battle of Gergovia is widely known as a symbol of Gallic triumph. Before delving into the battle, it is essential to understand the circumstances leading up to it. Most of the information about this conflict comes from Julius Caesar's commentaries on the Gallic War, as there are no surviving Gallic accounts. Vercingetorix had previously been expelled from Gergovia by its ruling government, the Arverni. However, in the winter of 53 BC, while Caesar was preparing his forces to strike against the Gauls, Vercingetorix returned to Gergovia with the support of his own people, the Arverni. Caesar faced a difficult decision. He could have kept his forces safe during the winter, demonstrating Roman weakness and potentially losing the support of their allies, the Aedui. Alternatively, he could engage Vercingetorix in open battle, risking limited supplies. Caesar chose the latter option, as he didn't want to compromise Roman support from the Aedui. Leaving behind 2 legions and the baggage train in Agedincum, Caesar led the remaining legions towards Gergovia. Along the way, he conducted sieges at Town Velonodonum, Genabum, and Noviodunum, which compelled Vercingetorix to march and face Caesar in an open battle at Noviodunum, a battle that Caesar emerged victorious from. Subsequently, Caesar captured Avaricum and replenished his supplies there. After a brief rest, he dispatched his trusted legate, Titus Labienus, with 4 legions to the north to prevent any interference from the northern Gauls in his campaign against the Arverni. Before I continue, I have a quick request to make. Please consider subscribing to my channel, it will help me a lot. And also, please turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out any videos. Let's continue. Caesar's path to Gergovia became evident to Vercingetorix once the latter observed the direction of his movement. The heights of Gergovia stood majestically, 360 meters above the surrounding plain, offering a strategic advantage to its defenders. The plateau was approximately 1,500 meters long and 700 meters wide, making it easy to defend with a relatively small force controlling the sole entrance. In an attempt to impede Caesar's progress, Vercingetorix crossed the powerful river Alave, known today as Allier, which was a tributary to the Loire River, at Nevers. He then marched along the riverbank, mirroring Caesar's movements and destroying all the bridges to hinder the Roman army's crossing. The Gauls aimed to inflict losses on Caesar's forces during their attempted crossing. Recognizing Vercingetorix's plan, Caesar devised a plan of his own and crossed the river right under the Gauls' noses. One night, Caesar established his camp near the town of Varennes-sur-Allier, where a bridge had been previously destroyed by Vercingetorix. Dividing his force into 2 parts, with 2/3 constituting the larger force and 1/3 the smaller force, Caesar ordered the larger force to march south in 6 divisions, masquerading as the full army of 6 legions. He instructed them to continue their march in that direction. Vercingetorix fell for the ruse and pursued the larger force. Meanwhile, Caesar and the 2 legions that remained at Varennes swiftly rebuilt the bridge. The next day, the smaller force executed a surprise march and successfully rendezvoused with the original force, crossing the rebuilt bridge. Realizing that he had been deceived, Vercingetorix hurried south to beat Caesar to Gergovia. 5 days later, Caesar and his army reached Gergovia. The first day's march was short, allowing the tired troops to recover from the arduous river journey. On the final day, the legions arrived at the town. Recognizing the risky nature of a frontal assault due to the mountainous location of Gergovia, Caesar relied on his superior siege tactics. He discovered a small hill held by the Gauls, which was crucial for their defense of Gergovia as it provided water, grain, and forage. In a daring night raid, Caesar's forces swiftly seized control of the hill, stationing 2 legions there. They connected it to their main camp by digging a double trench, creating a formidable barrier that cut off the Gauls from their vital supplies. The defenders of Gergovia were compelled to rely on the meager water supply within the city. Caesar faced challenges with the loyalty of the Aedui, a Gallic tribe allied with Rome. He suspected that the Aedui leaders had been bribed with gold and deceived with misinformation by Vercingetorix's emissaries. Initially, Caesar had arranged for 10,000 Aedui soldiers to protect his supply line. However, Vercingetorix persuaded Convictolitavis, the chief who had been appointed by Caesar, to order the Aedui soldiers to join him upon their arrival at Gergovia. The Aedui attacked the Romans escorting the supply train, putting Caesar in a precarious position. With his provisions at stake, Caesar withdrew 4 legions from the siege and engaged in battle against the Aedui army, ultimately defeating them. The pro-Roman faction regained control of the Aedui leadership, and Caesar returned to Gergovia with 10,000 pro-Roman Aedui horsemen. The 2 legions he had left to continue the siege had struggled to repel Vercingetorix's larger force. Caesar recognized that his siege would fail unless he could dislodge Vercingetorix from the advantageous high ground. He devised a plan to use 1 legion as a decoy while the rest of his forces moved to better positions, capturing 3 Gallic camps in the process. He then ordered a general retreat to lure Vercingetorix off the high ground. Unfortunately, most of Caesar's soldiers did not hear the retreat order. Fueled by their success in capturing the camps, they pressed on toward the town, launching a direct assault without proper equipment such as ladders to scale the walls of Gergovia. Initially, the Romans mistook the arriving Aedui for enemies and attacked them. Caesar could only provide cover for the retreat. The noise and commotion of the Roman assault alerted Vercingetorix, who arrived at the scene to witness the Roman and Aedui forces in disarray beneath the walls of Gergovia. Seizing the opportunity, Vercingetorix led a devastating cavalry charge that shattered the Roman lines. The Gallic warriors dismounted and joined the infantry in the fight against the Romans, inflicting heavy casualties. Caesar's account notes the loss of 46 centurions and 700 legionaries. However, some modern historians suspect that these figures may have been downplayed, given the depiction of the battle as a rout and the deployment of 20,000 to 40,000 allied Roman soldiers. It is likely that the casualties also included losses among the allied auxiliaries. In the aftermath of the battle, Caesar ordered a retreat. He lifted the siege of Gergovia and retreated from the Arverni lands towards the northeast, heading in the direction of Aedui territory. Vercingetorix pursued Caesar's army, intending to annihilate it. Meanwhile, Labienus, one of the Caesar's lieutenants, concluded his campaign in the north and returned to Agedincum, Caesar's central Gaulish base. After joining forces with Labienus's corps, Caesar marched his united army from Agedincum to confront Vercingetorix's victorious army. The 2 armies would later clash again at the Alesia, which we will discuss in the next episode. The Battle of Gergovia stands as a testament to the fierce resistance put up by the Gallic forces led by Vercingetorix against the Roman Republic's expansion into Gaul. It serves as a significant episode in the larger context of Julius Caesar's conquest of Gaul, showcasing both the strategic prowess of Caesar and the courage and tenacity of the Gallic tribes. That's all for today. Please leave a like, comment or share this to your friends if you like this video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode.